Okay, so I've been a student of Dr. Richard Carrier for a very long time, and while I don't agree with everything he says about the origins of the New Testament, the disciples, Christianity, Jesus, etc., I don't agree with him 100%, but I agree with him, or I don't agree with him on everything, but I do agree with him on this point that Acts of the Apostles is actually copying ancient Greek fiction. How do we know this? We know this because the author of Acts was a Greek speaking and writing Christian living outside of Palestine, where Jesus was. And, uh, and the author of Acts of the Apostles is actually copying or plagiarizing off ancient Greek fiction. If we read Acts 12 and Acts 16, this is directly copied off Euphrates the Bacchae, where it talks about somebody escaping prison, and the escape from prison is due to an earthquake. So Euripides the Bacchae came at least, I don't know, like 200 years before Acts of the Apostles was written. So it seems this is proof that the author of Acts is copying pre-Christian Greek fiction and is incorporating it into his work. So we know Acts of the Apostles is copying fictional stories and putting, you know, figures like Paul and Peter into fictional stories. We also know that Acts of the Apostles is is copying off the Old Testament. Acts chapter 10 is basically a rewrite of Ezekiel chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 4, and chapter 20. Both in Acts 10 and the Ezekiel chapters, both the heavens open, both are commanded to eat something in their vision. Both are Peter is twice responded with God with the exact phrase, "By no means, Lord." Both are asked to eat unclean food. Both Peter and Ezekiel both protest that they have never done that before. Then Acts 15 puts Peter in the role of Paul. So notice how the author of Acts is copying ancient Greek fiction, and he's copying or he's plagiarizing off the Old Testament. So that means that Acts of the Apostles is rewriting history, or it's copying fictional Greek stories, and it's copying off the Old Testament, and it's putting Peter and Paul into fictional accounts, or plagiarized Old Testament accounts. So that means the author of Acts of the Apostles is plagiarizing the Old Testament in Greek fiction. That means Acts of the Apostles can't be trusted as a historical source.